Namaste. Let's take a 360-degree view of Christmas and look how it's celebrated today, how it came to be, and where it's going. Christmas around the world. Gorgeously decorated malls and stores. Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, elves, and a big bag of gifts. Homes beautifully decorated on the outside. Homes beautifully decorated from the inside. Deliciously baked cakes and cookies. Nativity story is shared in schools through plays and movies. Nativity story is enacted in churches around the world. On Christmas, midnight mass is held in churches around the world. Millions of gifts are packaged and shipped all over the world. Millions of people send and receive lots of packages. Christmas in the Northern Hemisphere versus Christmas in the Southern Hemisphere. The equator is an imaginary line drawn around the Earth, equally distant from both North Pole and South Pole, that divides the Earth into Northern and Southern Hemispheres. Christmas in the Northern Hemisphere is cold because the season is winters. Christmas in the Southern Hemispheres is hot because the season is summers. Northern Hemisphere. Santa rides on a sleigh with his reindeer. In the Southern Hemisphere, Santa rides in a paddle boat with his dog. In the Northern Hemisphere, people make their snowman wear mittens and mufflers. In the Southern Hemisphere, people make their sandman wear sunglasses. In the Northern Hemisphere, people enjoy their time visiting the ice skating rinks that pop up everywhere. In the Southern Hemispheres, people enjoy their time at the beach playing water sport. In the Northern Hemisphere, you can enjoy indoor lunches and dinners with family and friends, while in the Southern Hemisphere, people enjoy outdoor and indoor lunches and dinners with family and friends. Is that all? Or are we forgetting something? Let's go back and check if we missed something. A few days before Christmas, trees are being cut and carried away to set up for tree lighting. More trees are cut down because people also want a Christmas tree. Millions of trees are cut down because everyone wants a Christmas tree. The forests around the world are echoing for the cries of help. The recent cutting down of millions and millions of trees has terrorized the whole tree world. This is a tree who has witnessed the killing of one of his friends and is telling the others about it. A man killed that tree with an axe. Then he dragged the dead tree home and he festively decorated it in his living room. Just imagine if trees celebrated a festival for which they killed humans, set up the dead body in their living room, enjoyed decorating it, and called it a Christmas human. The most worrying part is that all the environmentalists and all the environmental organizations and NGOs, politicians, world leaders, and even nature lovers who are always teaching everyone about how cutting down trees is destroying our planet are absolutely quiet about it on Christmas. Are you wondering why? There are many reasons. One, all the big and small businesses make a lot of money selling all sorts of things on Christmas. 2. It will upset a lot of people who follow Christianity. 3. The celebration of Christmas also helps in promoting Christianity. So, would it be better to buy an artificial Christmas tree? If you are driving more than 10 miles each year to get a real tree, then you are already creating a big carbon footprint by burning too much fuel. Real trees can either be recycled or composted, so don't just throw it away with the garbage. Artificial trees cannot be recycled, so reuse your artificial tree for at least 10 to 15 years or longer in order to reduce the damage it will cause to the planet once you throw it away. Now let's think about what happens after the Christmas celebration is over. All the perfectly wrapped gift boxes, along with that beautiful gift wrap, has now become unwanted garbage that will go straight to the trash can. The beautiful tree ornaments and the holiday lights also become equally unwanted, and so they too are dumped along with all the other trash. Huge mountains of garbage line up the sidewalks in towns and cities everywhere, waiting to be picked up and dumped into the landfill. Here are two posters I found online trying to raise awareness about the excessive amounts of garbage generated during this time, the most wasteful time of year. During the holidays, American households generate 25% more waste. That's enough to fill 140,000 garbage trucks. This one is trying to make people aware of the kind of burden we put on trees and animals just to enjoy unwrapping our gifts. The equivalent of 30 million trees are used to wrap gifts during the holidays. Now let's take a look at the origin of Christmas. Is Christmas really Jesus Christ's birthday? Was Jesus really born on December 25th? The short answer is no. It is not believed Jesus was born on the day that Christmas is globally celebrated. Instead, Christmas was chosen as a convenient celebratory day on the same day of a pagan holiday that celebrated the winter solstice. Is Christmas a pagan festival? Though December 25th is the day Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, the date itself and several of the customs we've come to associate with Christmas actually evolved from pagan traditions celebrating the winter solstice. In ancient Rome, there was a feast called Saturnalia that celebrated the solstice. Do all Christians celebrate Christmas? Millions of Christians do not observe Christmas. Among them are Quakers, Jehovah's Witnesses, and members of the Churches of Christ. Some of the half-dozen Christian faiths that do not celebrate December 25th contend there is nothing in the Bible that says Christ was born on that day. Did the rise of Christianity bring about the fall of the Roman Empire? One of the many factors that contributed to the fall of the Roman Empire was the rise of a new religion, Christianity. The Christian religion, which was monotheistic, ran counter to the traditional Roman religion, which was polytheistic. So this map shows how now let's take a look at this map that shows us the different dates on which Christmas is celebrated around the world. All the countries that you see in pale green are countries that were colonized by European countries, and therefore they celebrate on the same day as Europe, December 25th. Armenia celebrates Christmas on January 6th. The Orthodox Christians of Russia and the Coptic Christians of Egypt celebrate Christmas on January 7th. And the countries which here are highlighted in red do not celebrate Christmas. They are either Islamic countries or China, which is a communist country, so they do not allow people to practice religion. So how and when did the celebration of Christmas begin? Ancient Romans were like us, the followers of Sanatan Dharma, also known as Hinduism. Just like us, they too worship several gods, including nature, like sun, moon, rivers, trees, etc. For this, Christians call them pagans, which is a negative word. On the occasion of winter solstice, the ancient Romans worshipped Sol and Saturn. They called their sun god as Sol Invictus, which means the unconquered sun. At this time, they also worshipped Saturn, who was the Roman god of agriculture. Even though after being converted to Christianity, many Romans continued to celebrate their pagan festivals. However, once Christianity became a dominant force in Rome, the Roman Catholic Church decided to adopt and absorb this festival into Christianity by starting the celebration of a Christianized version of this festival. Christ Mass, which were gatherings of masses to pray to Christ, now became Christmas and began to be officially celebrated from December 25th in 435 AD. On the occasion of the winter solstice, the ancient Romans celebrated the sun god, who they call Sol Invictus, which means the unconquered sun. The Christians turned it into a celebration of their Son of God, Jesus Christ. During the winter solstice celebration, the ancient Romans also celebrated Saturn, who was the Roman god of agriculture, thus calling it Saturnalia. They worshipped nature and considered trees to be sacred. As part of their rituals and celebration, they decorated whole living trees outside where they grew with religious ornaments such as figurines of the sun, moon, and stars. Early Christians in Europe systematically destroyed the sacred trees and the groves of the pagans. At times when Christians didn't cut down their sacred trees, they consecrated the trees to Jesus Christ. Evergreen trees symbolize the nature's cycle of rebirth and eternal life. So their branches and shrubs were used to make wreaths to decorate their homes and temples. The evergreen trees have been absorbed and adopted in and now have been popularized as the Christmas tree. The ancient Romans believed that the mistletoe from the sacred oak tree had powerful healing properties. So when they met someone in the forest, they gave them the sign of peace under the mistletoe. Christians also started to hang mistletoe above their doorways as a symbol of peace. This was such a powerful symbol of paganism that English churches actually banned mistletoes inside the church. The ancient Romans celebrated this important festival by giving gifts, lighting candles, decorating their houses, feasting, singing, and dancing. Christians completely adopted and absorbed the way ancient Romans celebrated their festival and called it the Christmas celebration. In order to stop the pagans from practicing their rituals, early Christians in Europe systematically destroyed their sacred trees, much to the horror of the pagans. The fall of the sacred trees as a pagan symbol was taken as a triumph of Christianity. Christian missionary Saint Boniface cuts down the sacred oak tree while pagans look on in horror. Does the history of the fall of Rome teach us something? Yes, this historical event from history is still very relevant, and there is a lot we can learn from it. One of the many factors that contributed to the fall of the ancient Roman Empire was the spread of the new religion, Christianity. Christianity, which is monotheistic, one God only religion, brought about the complete destruction of the ancient Roman Empire, the ancient Romans, their temples, and their way of life. The spread of Christianity in the 5th century brought along with it 1,000 years of the Dark Ages, which lasted all the way up till the 15th century. The Roman Catholic Church still practices this process of adopting and absorbing different cultures into Christianity. Following this method makes it easier for them to convert more and more people all around the world. This method has been practiced to perfection by the Church and is now called inculturation, and is widely used in countries like Africa, India, and Nepal to facilitate conversion activities. Let's see some examples of inculturation in India. Inculturation, a tool to facilitate conversions. Picture 1 and Picture 2. The poor kalash that we Hindus use in our pujas has been adopted and absorbed by Christian churches in India. Picture 3. Christian crosses are being installed on our puja lamps. Inculturation, a tool to facilitate conversions. Picture 1 and Picture 2. Christian missionaries wearing saffron clothes impersonating Hindu sadhus and gurus. Picture 3. Christian priests wearing saffron clothes along with tilak on their forehead and a cross around their neck in a Rudrakshamala. Inculturation, a tool to facilitate conversions. A Christian cross has been placed above the Shivlinga that is now called the Yeshu Linga. A Christian priest wearing a saffron clothes can be seen performing a puja-like ceremony. Who is Yeshu? Jesus is also known as Yeshu, is also known as Christ, is also known as Messiah. These are all the same name. These are all names of the same person. Inculturation, a tool to facilitate conversion. Statues of Mary holding baby Jesus are a common sight in Catholic churches in Western countries. However, in India, in order to mislead Hindus, churches have put up statues of Mary holding baby Ganesha, as though Ganesha is Mary's son. Inculturation, a tool to facilitate conversions. Churches are depicting Jesus looking like Murugan in an effort to delink Murugan from Hinduism and linking him with Christianity. So if they make Jesus look like Murugan, Hindus will start thinking that if Jesus and Murugan are so similar, why can't we accept Jesus? And soon they will convert to Christianity. Inculturation, a tool to facilitate conversion. Jesus is being presented as a yogi, and yoga is being delinked from Hinduism and being linked with Jesus Christ as a yogacharya. Our classical songs and dances, which are ancient forms of artistic expressions of devotion to our devas that have originated from Natya Shastra, are being hijacked and modified to now be in praise of Jesus. Inculturation, a tool to facilitate conversions. Christian churches are being built to look like a Hindu temple and are being called mandir and ashram. On the left, you can see a picture of a Christian church which has been made to look like a mandir and has crosses on top. On the right, you can see a picture of the ashram of the Holy Trinity, which is really just a church. This holiday season, while you enjoy your time with your family, try to also learn more about the ongoing inculturation in India and how we can protect our culture from not meeting the same fate as the ancient Romans. Namaste.